Hello.
Hi.
Dana, you played hooky today.
Well,
You
kind
did
of.
call. You did call and say you were going to play hooky, kind of, but not
I
really hooky.
know. Change is hard for me. You know this. And so
Mhm.
the change getting to my house to work took a couple days. And now getting from here back to the office is
Mhm.
going to take a couple days.
We'll give you until Friday, and then I'm going to start really giving you crap on live on
Okay,
the
but
air.
see, I won't have my little fan twirly on my head.
Look like you have a whirly gig up there.
I know, doesn't it? It's perfect.
Oh, well, I just had Yellow Dog Eats for lunch, which,
Uh,
for those of you that know, is like one of my favorite places next to Ellie Luce, who we had on yesterday. And I did talk to Fish, the owner of that company. He's going to come on one day and talk to
oh,
us.
good. We're gonna get fish. Awesome.
Yeah, but they're working on getting their restaurant back open and all of that, which is why I brought it up. And just excited to start getting a little bit of normalcy here while keeping everybody safe. So it is what it is. It's one step at a time. I luckily didn't catch any grief yesterday. I posted on our Facebook page that we were opening up and safe distancing and all that stuff. And but it's important to make sure you do it carefully.
Yes. And Scott has been such the awesome point person on this, reading all the direction and guidelines from the state and the
Mhm.
county. And I think we've done a great job. I mean, we're, definitely have been, thinking it through and from all the way from where the sanitizer is placed to the feet on the ground to make sure that the agents aren't getting too close to Penny,
Yeah.
all the way to, the trash can right outside the bathroom door. So you can use your paper towel and then don't have to touch the knob. So I think
That
it's
was Scott's. That was one of Scott's like Oprah type favorite things, not having to get his hand caught in the door trying to throw the
that
towel.
was my idea. That was my
He came in here and gave you credit for it. Well, listen. So one of the other things that has changed with this whole situation has been how we show homes and we let our customers show homes, and that's why today's guest is. Has probably, I would imagine. I mean, I've heard of this person before they even, before the COVID virus situation, but I've seen his name a lot more since then. So we're going to go ahead and bring him in here. Hi, Vic. How are you? It's Vic DeVore from DeVore Design.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I really appreciate being here today.
It's good to have you. We got to meet him briefly the other day when we were trying to test out a system, and then I got jealous about his microphone, and then the rest is all downhill.
He
He's got all
does
this great recording stuff because he's into audio and video production, and he just he can hear how great he sounds on there. He also used to be in radio, if I
I was going to say,
recall.
David, he's a professional.
He is a professional. I'm trying to be as
Sounds
professional as I can, but it is what it is. So Vic, how's it going?
Going good. And you got to look the part. So that's why I've got the mic here and the headphones. I'm just trying to, I figure if I'm going to be if I'm going to act like a media expert, I need to look like a media expert. So I don't know. Maybe I just look like a geek. So that's fair too.
Well, now I can see your microphone a little bit more because you gave me the stats to find that mic online because it's just it's so sexy. And then I'm looking at it now. I didn't look like the one online because of the wind screen on the wind cap on top.
Yep.
So anyway, that's all right. So for those that don't know you, can you give us an idea of what you do?
Sure. So I own and operate DeVore Design. We do real estate photography, real estate videos, and we've been in business for about 5.5 years now. And video has always been a very important part of DeVore Design. Of course, real estate photography at its core is very important because that's the look. The look of those photos is what you hope is going to get people's attention to get them into your listings. But video's from day one been a very important part of our strategy, and obviously in the past 6 weeks, that's really helped a lot of our customers. And then we've come up with other solutions that we've kind of layered on top of what we already offer to even kind of further enhance the virtual sort of marketplace that we're in now with listings. So it's been one of the benefits, I think, of a company like DeVore Design, you know, we're relatively small, but when it comes to real estate photography, I think we're kind of big. We have 21 people on our team. We've got back office support. We have a programmer. So we're able to adapt quickly. And when things started happening 6 weeks ago, we were very, very quickly able to come up with new services and kind of adapt to the rapidly changing marketplace. So that's, you know, kind of where we're at. And I can go through that. But if you have any questions in between, you know, what I've just explained and now, let me know.
Well, I think, hold on a second here. I'm typing and trying to talk at the same time. I was really impressed. We stumbled across your name while doing one of our open house shows, and just the quality of the video and the attention to detail was really great. And so many times you see agents out there trying to do things on their own, and unless you have the right equipment, it's going to show. I mean, I don't want to be discouraging to agents out there who are doing the best they can. Not everybody can afford to do a video first out when they start listing homes, and that just simply is what it is. But I have seen some pretty scary ones, and so I think before and I don't know, we talked about it. Are you going to be demoing any of your work on here, or did you want to share your screen with any of that?
I mean, we certainly can. It's not something that I have to do. Something that I do want to do with your audience, and I have no idea if we're able to do this or not. If I can randomly select, you know, an email address or something from somebody, then I can give away one of these virtual tour videos.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, Vic, here I'm gonna encourage everyone out there, if you haven't already remarked in the comments section, remark, and that way I'll have a kind of a roster of everyone who's on the call right now.
Perfect.
And then we'll do a little. I'll have you pick a number, and we'll do it that way.
That's perfect.
I want to start you off with, like, what's kind of. I know you've got a lot of products, so I don't want to whittle it down to one, but what is kind of the basic package that you think is great for, you know, your average property right now for the agents? Let's start there, and then we can kind of talk about how you can modify that.
Sure. So our most popular photo package includes 25 to 35 photos. It includes a single property website. We include a PDF flyer, and it's $175. We have a new virtual showing video that it's a $75 add-on, essentially. I call it a casual video. So in the past, we've sort of stuck to more cinematic video productions, and that's where we have multiple cuts and we kind of put everything together, and it's more cinematic. This virtual showing, it's a lot more casual, but there's something also really good about it, because we basically just do a single take going through the property. We have the cameras on a gimbal, so the camera just goes through the entire property, through the front door, throughout the entire property. So it allows buyers to legitimately see how the property flows together, how the rooms flow together. If they want to look at something again, they can just rewind it. I was talking to an agent early on through this situation, and she said that she did a live stream virtual showing with a buyer, and she was the listing agent. The buyer had their agent with them, and then the seller was also in the house. So you had all these people sort of together. It took over 45 minutes because they kept wanting to go back to a certain detail. And that was sort of the kind of moment where it's like, you know, we could just do this, and then they can fast forward and rewind, because it doesn't need to be 45 minutes. It can be 5, 7, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And then the buyer can just rewind if they want to see, you know, a bathroom again, or a master bedroom again, or the kitchen. And so it's different. The other benefit, though, to this casual video is that the agent can be in the video. So we can mic the agent up. We have a lapel mic that we put on the agent, and the agent can either be on camera, or can even be, we can still mic the agent up and they can be behind the camera, kind of like doing a real-time voiceover, and then we put music underneath it, and it's a nice little video. It's very easy to shoot in the field. It's very easy to edit. So we're able to kind of pass all those savings along. It's a $75 add-on to our existing photo packages, or if that's all we were doing, then it's $125. That's kind of our minimum that we charge to come out to a property. So we did a lot of them standalone too, for existing properties that already maybe had photos done but didn't have video, and we're trying to market properties through the through the what has been going on. And so $175, that's kind of our entry level photo package, and then you kind of can add services on from there.
Well, it's really cool. I mean, I joke with our agents and all that. You can always tell when somebody's just gotten their drone and they start the first, and they're putting everything in MLS, and the first 15 shots are of the outside. Drone photography, I think, has its purpose, and I know you guys do that too. I put your website up there. You guys should definitely check it out to see exactly what they do, instead of having it show you on the screen here. But here's a question. I think this is kind of, and you can choose not to answer in full, because I realize it kind of goes against Dana's like, what is he going to say? What's he going to say? What are some of the do's and don'ts for an agent that maybe is just starting out? Because we have a lot of new agents, and they can't always come up with the money that it takes to do a professional video, but they do have an iPhone. I mean, let's be real. This phone right here with the new iPhone has a great video camera. And I think using the right tools, you can do a decent job. I mean,
I agree 100%.
What are some of the do's and don'ts of, would you say, let's start with the do's. What are some of the things they need to really pay close attention to when doing this, and then you can go into the don'ts?
Sure. And I'll preface all this. I encourage agents to try and do their own video. It's whether you're doing it yourself or using a professional, video is something that you should be doing for all your listings, because there is a huge appetite for it, especially now. But there's always been a big appetite for video, and it does improve the performance of your listings. There's data out there to prove it. So the do's, if you're going to do a walkthrough style video, I would consider if you have a new iPhone, I mean, you're already spending some cash, get a little handheld gimbal for your iPhone. They're probably $100. I would recommend a DJI Osmo. The DJI is the company that makes most of the consumer drones out there. I'm a big fan of that company. I like their products, but they have a handheld gimbal for your phone. You're just going to get smoother shots through the property. And that's going to be that's going to be that cinematic look that you're used to seeing, with professionally produced videos. So that's the one thing I would start with, is making sure that you have stabilized shots. So get a gimbal for your camera. Also, consider just shooting kind of small clips. And if you get like 10 to 15 second clips, but you get enough of them together, then you can edit them. You can edit them on your phone. I'm not as familiar with the video editing on your phone. I've edited videos on TikTok. It's unbelievably simple, but I'm not as familiar with editing those kinds of clips on the iPhone, but I know there's apps out there that enable you to do that. I am going to announce here, if anybody hasn't heard this already, it was supposed to be publicly released yesterday, but I don't know if it was. Zillow is discontinuing their Zillow walkthrough app. So that is going to be they're sunsetting that, so to speak. Now, you're still going to be able to upload videos to Zillow, but you're going to have to upload it through Zillow.com, through the listing. There's going to be an interface for it. And if you're the listing agent, you can upload your own video. Wow. We're still going to upload the videos for our customers to Zillow. So we'll do it. But the listing agents are going to have to approve those videos, and they can upload their own videos. So if they do go out and they have that gimbal and they get those clips, they get those short clips, and they edit something together, they can upload that as well. And one more tip I'm going to say on the do side, if you're going to record audio, I highly recommend that you have some kind of a lapel mic, because their audio and visuals, they go hand in hand. And if you have a nice gimbal and you have those nice clips, and then it sounds like you're in a tunnel or you're, in a bathroom, I know you hate it, because that's why you have a nice mic in front of you. So I'm the same way. I think it's very important to have decent audio. Again, you're not talking about a huge expense. You can get a lapel mic built for an iPhone, and they're under $100. Just if you go to Amazon, read the reviews, get something with decent reviews, and that's going to do yourself a huge service. So I'll recap there. Consider a gimbal, consider getting short clips and editing them together, and then consider, if you're going to record audio, which I encourage you to do. I encourage agents to be in their videos. I think it's a great way for agents to brand themselves. And right now on the MLS for the virtual showings, they are allowing agents to be in the videos. And we even briefly talked about the virtual open houses. You can fully brand those.
Let's actually clarify that a little bit. They can,
sure.
With the virtual open houses, they can do that. They can't be in the video that's public facing in the MLS. They cannot.
Here's what I was told from Stellar, is that they can be on the virtual showing link. They can be in the video, but they can't say their name. They can't have their logo on their shirt, and they can't now.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know about the person being in there, but I know specifically that,
you would know better than me. I mean,
that
from
was one of the
perspective.
biggest understandings when we were talking about, what we first talked to you about, was that there were agents that were of the opinion that, because it was meant for open houses, because there's a whole other section of MLS that most people don't even know about for open houses, that allows an agent to put a link in there that's virtual, has them in it. They can put their company name and all that, and some of them misinterpret it. And I'm sure a lot of them, I would hope that the board was lenient at the beginning, because there were a lot of people abusing that with their company name and everything spoken and graphically in the entire thing. So yeah.
Now,
okay, I want to
go ahead, Dana.
bring it back though, and I'm sure that you do both. I mean, obviously, if people have a shirt with their logo on it, you can't really modify that, but
you can actually blur it out, and you can actually blur that out on YouTube now. It's crazy. There's a blur button.
All right. Well, so Vic, I'm guessing that part of what you do is both a branded one and an unbranded one. What?
Exactly.
My husband's home.
I know. You see my husband in the back with his Vic, one of the questions I really wanted to ask you about was the lighting. To me, that's the hardest part, both with pictures, but especially with video. Do you guys do any modified lighting? And, what are your tips about that?
So we do color correction. I mean, the obvious one, if you're shooting on an iPhone, then they have pretty good, you're going to be shooting auto. So they usually have pretty good dynamic range, and you're able to kind of get a lot. If you're going from a super bright room to a really dark room, maybe there's and if they're connected to each other, I mean, there's going to be issues. What we do on the professional side, we don't physically come out with lights, but we do color correct on the cinematic videos. We do color correction. So, each clip, that's the other reason too, that the cinematic videos, they're more expensive, because we're taking multiple clips and, editing them together, and we're individually color correcting each clip. If you have one of those properties that has like really bright areas and really dark areas, it is difficult with that kind of casual video service, because you do sometimes go from really bright to really dark. The camera will compensate. The DSLR cameras are they have a higher dynamic range than the iPhone, but the way that they sometimes compensate, sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to like brighten up or darken up. So, but I recommend shooting everything in the daytime. There's no reason you'd ever want to do anything at night or even in the evening. It depends. If you were to do a shoot in the evening, I would hope that you're doing it because like there's a pool with light, fire pit, that kind of thing. And that way it would be easier to see that kind of stuff outside of like from inside to the outside. It would be easier to see that because it'd be a little bit more balanced. But I would probably think that if you're shooting stuff yourself on your iPhone and you have an app, you're shooting the short clips, like I said, you can probably brighten an individual clip as needed. Okay. So that's what we do on the professional side. And I'm going to guess that you could do that with an app, especially on the iPhone.
Right? Doesn't iMovie do that?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure it does.
I wouldn't have no idea.
David loves iMovie. I've got to get in there and try and figure it out.
Your husband just got hello from Wendy Carugno.
Oh, hi, Merle. I'll tell him that you said hi. I was also going to say, and it totally went out of my mind. Oh, when you were talking about, because we've really experienced your work mostly with our agents and not just in our company, but outside of the company doing the open house and having their virtual video. And so I've talked to a couple of Merle, you're getting calls like shout outs. Wendy Krugner said hi. So
I got my headphones in.
Yeah, he's Mr. Famous. But that it's interesting that you say that they can be like in front of the camera or behind the camera, because I've seen several, and I think the agents being in front of the camera is great. I mean, obviously, David and I are testaments that you can be on the TV all the time. You don't have to be a professional by any means. But I've talked to a couple agents who are like, oh, I can't stand it because I was in the video. And I was like, you look great. That's a shame that you don't want to. So that's great that you I
can give some tips too. I mean, if an agent wants to be on camera, the first thing that I'm trying to tell every agent is don't be afraid to have notes with you, because especially if you have multiple listings, I could understand that it probably would help to just have notes. So and then there might be things that you really want to make sure that you talk about that you can't see. Maybe the roof is brand new. Maybe there's new plumbing, and that's not the kind of stuff that the camera is going to pick up, but you want to make sure that you say it. So that's the first advice that I give to agents is don't be afraid to have notes, especially if you're doing one of our virtual showing videos. But even if you're just filming yourself walking through the house, don't be afraid to have notes in your hand. It's okay. Yeah. It's not Jeopardy. It's not like some testing thing where you have to memorize everything. We're all human beings. And at the end of the day, the star of the video should be the property. So by you having a note in your hand, you're not distracting anybody. And then just pretend you're walking a buyer through the property. So, don't put pressure on yourself to have this idea that this is some kind of a Hollywood production and there's going to be, you're going to be scrutinized for single thing that you do or say. It's not. You're a human. If you make a mistake, just backtrack and correct yourself. Casual, be yourself, be authentic. Authenticity is what people want. That's really what people want to see. If you are nervous and you're uncomfortable, don't pressure yourself to do it. Also, I mean, that's the other thing is don't feel pressured to do it. If you think you want to do it, bring notes and try to just be as relaxed as you can. If you really don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it. Don't push yourself into it. There's other things that you could do also. You could just introduce yourself and the property on camera, and then just, you could start the camera in a selfie mode and then get your clips, and you could narrate the video basically. So you're only going to be on camera for a short amount of time. We've seen agents with the videos that we do that literally have a written script. They come to the property with a written script and they just stay behind the camera person and they basically read through the script as they go through different parts of the house. So, and that sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound bad. So that's another possible, way. Go ahead, David.
Well, there were some. I'm looking at your website there, and by the way, look what happened look what was at home. I finally have a mic stand. I'm a real person now.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I'm no longer using the tissue box. Anyway, I see on your site here something that I wasn't aware of that you do, but I'm not surprised, is you do agent videos as well, which is kind of a cool way. You were seeing these more and more where people like to, it's kind of a get to know me type of video. Can you elaborate on what that is and how popular they are and what they run?
We've actually got one in production right now that we're hoping to deliver at the end of the week. So the idea of these agent profile videos, that's what we call them, agent profile videos. They give us a cinematic way to showcase an agent, kind of allowing an agent to introduce themselves, talk about what makes them different, what makes their services or their approach to real estate unique. And we capture that in a very cinematic way. So we try to get a lot of B-roll footage of the agent through the community. The one that we shot that's in production right now, we shot most of it around Lake Eola, and then we shot part of it over at Bay Hill. We have multiple locations that we put in those videos because we really want the agents to be able to it's that visual storytelling, so they can kind of see, like, so what's on the screen right now, they obviously they're primarily in Winter Garden, so they wanted to do this in downtown.
I don't know them. I'm sorry.
They're awesome, by the way. So you talk about video pros. Mark and Sarah Rawmaker are literal video pros. They come from a background of professional acting. So it's they're fantastic. But again, the way we format our videos and our agent profiles, you don't have to have like a script prepared. We have kind of questions that we'll ask, and as you go through the process, we can sort of formulate where to bring the video. Those videos, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. I'm not going to do a screen share. Because I think, I don't want to. I want to give an accurate price, and let me see. Agent profile. I'm searching right now. You'd think I would know all the services and the prices and everything, but I don't, unfortunately.
Well, no, you don't have to. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot with that. I'm really just kind of curious. I'm going to actually, you know what? I do have one here. I'm just going to, you have one on your website, the Paradise Cove in Kissimmee. Does that sound, that's a vacation home. We could, let me pull one up here so that we can kind of.
Talking about the agent. He's talking about the agent one, David. He's not.
I think that might be a community profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're community profiles. There are a bunch of different ones here. So I'm just curious as to which one. I mean, the agent ones, the pricing, are you pulling that up there?
Yeah, the agent video profiles are $500. Yeah. And we include 3 locations, 30 to 40 minutes at each location. And then the finished videos typically between 2 and 3 minutes. And it's going to be cinematic. There's one that we're doing, the one that we're doing right now. I'm excited to see how it turns out. There's a longer turnaround time. Like our normal videos, if we go out and we shoot a property, like the videos that we're delivering today are for properties that we shot yesterday. These agent profile videos, we have a 2-week turnaround time. And that's because we just want to spend as much time doing those videos as we can, in the editing process.
For a longer period of time.
Let's take a look at one real quick here. This is one that was on your website, so I'm assuming it's acceptable. So let's take a look.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have? Hold on.
Okay, this is more of a custom listing presentation or listing video.
Cool. I mean, it's just it grabs the attention of people, 10, 9,
8, 7.
Dude, I love the concept.
6.
Love how she sneaks in her little pillow there.
4, 3, 2,
subconsciously you're seeing the kitchen, you're seeing the entire house,
It was designed that way.
Here I come.
That brings me to another question. So do you do logos like that for people too?
No, logos we don't do.
So she already had that done. Cool.
She had that. Yeah.
That's a really cool thing there. That's the kind of thing that when I see another agent do that, I get so jealous because it looks so good and polished. And the underlying tone of all of that is that they're professional. And if they're spending money on that, then what else are they doing behind the scenes to market my home? It gives you the impression. I don't know that agent from Adam, don't know what their production is or anything, but I would like to work with that person because the impression
she put that together. Like she came to us with that idea.
I think it's
Are
great.
those all your kids, Vic? Do you like rent out your kids for the various videos?
Those weren't any of my kids. That was Kathy's. That was basically in Kathy's neighborhood. She lives in Laureate Park over in Lake Nona.
Those are all the neighbors.
Share this on the comment section. You guys can go and take a look at the site, the section I'm looking at right now, the lifestyle videos. I'm sending that to you right now. Just take a look at it, and it's really, you can get lost in it. It's just amazing to me how much of this is, which used to be so, first of all, incredibly expensive and hard to do, and now it's not that it's hard to do. It just you have to have a good eye for it. And that's what we really appreciate about what you do, is that it's more than just throwing a camera up there. It was about telling a story and just making it graphically pleasing and all of that. And that's so important.
So I think the time has come, David, for us to have Vic pick a number. And so he can.
How many do we have?
What are you giving away, Vic?
I'm going to give away one of our virtual showing videos.
I love it.
So it looks like we've got, write this down. We got Mateen.
I got them all written down, David.
Down here.
I got them all written down. So Vic, pick a number 1 through 10.
I will pick lucky number 7.
Wendy Carugno, you are the winner. Yay!
Awesome.
All right.
Congratulations, Wendy. I hope you got a listing coming up soon, and we'll do a virtual showing video for you for free.
Yeah, she's one of our listing agents. So I'm sure she will be calling you. Well, Vic, some of the don'ts. We didn't really get into the don'ts, did we?
What?
We really didn't. We didn't get through the don'ts, and I do have some.
We're 33 minutes into this. I don't have to pay for any extra time or anything. I just didn't know what your time was like, unless
I'm good, man. No rush.
Well, cool then. I mean, I'll tell you one of the things we say. We tell people now that, I mean, for God's sakes, the MLS now allows 100 photos. No phone. It's 100 photos. Hope that wasn't anybody important. It's 100 photos, and I can't imagine anyone looking at 100 photos. Oh, that's somebody important, Scott. Take that. Sorry. Live on TV.
Yeah. That's you and your live snorting.
On YouTube and all that. All kidding aside, so we tell agents, and I think you probably agree that we should treat our photos as though we only really are allowed to put up 10, maybe 15, and we should pick the top 15. I think for me, one of the biggest no-nos in photography, putting your pictures, isn't beyond taking bad pictures. It's putting the wrong pictures up first and not in the right order. Or I know a lot of agents, what they do is they start at the front, then they go to the front door, they look to the left, they look to the right, and they go through the house step by step. The problem with that is that if you have a limited amount of time, we've got people, millennials and all that, we're all that screen, click, scanning through there. And if you don't get them in the first 5 to 10 pictures, I think you lose them.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a lot of inventory and you can't, if you have to whittle that down, nobody wants to look through 100 listings. But sometimes that many, if the inventory is good, that's what you got to look through. So it all comes down to the pictures.
Yeah. And I have not been able to find any quantifiable evidence that says the quantity of the photos is going to have some impact on the performance. Quality of the photos you can find evidence of having having an improved results with the performance. But I have searched. I've asked my contacts at Zillow, is there anything that supports the theory? Because I've heard a ton of people tell me the more photos, the better their listing does. But I've literally found nothing that supports that in black and white. Because listen, if I could find that evidence, I would tell everybody, yeah, we're going to have 100 photo package. And, I can't find anything to support that.
Within reason.
Google says that, but I don't think that's the case. I think it really boils down to, from a consumer point of view, get to the point.
I agree. So my philosophy with photography is capture as much of the property in the least number of shots you can. And I don't mean that in a negative way. My point is capture the space, how it connects to the next space, and really try to show the entire property and as much of it as you can, because you could capture every single room from all four corners, and then but it's not necessary. You want to know how the rooms connect to one another, how the property flows, and then I'm a fan of kind of detail shots. They're sort of emotional shots where you might have a pretty flowers on a kitchen island or something, and you might get that. It adds a little burst of color, and maybe the background is a little bit out of focus, but it creates a little bit of emotional appeal. But I would only do that on top of like the regular photos that you're getting to show the space. But yeah, I mean, when I see, I'll tell you, half baths don't photograph well. They just don't. They're rarely do they photograph well. You typically you have a sink on one side and a toilet on the other. So usually the only thing's going to be in a shot is going to be a fragment of the toilet and a little bit of the sink, or some combination. They don't photograph well. And truth be told, so we have a media, we've got like a media standards guide that I put together through the years. And I kind of say half baths are one of those things. Talk to the agent, and typically I wouldn't photograph it because you're not adding anything you're not adding value to what you're photographing. And if you're doing your own photography, and that's fine. Listen, so I'll do a little plug here. If you're taking your own photos, we have a sister company called tourdrop.com. You can upload your own photos and we'll edit them using the exact same editing protocols that we use for our professional photos. And it's a fraction of the price of having somebody come out. But sometimes I'll see the photos that we get and they'll take their cell phone, they'll have it tilted down at a 45-degree angle, and they'll get a shot of a toilet and half a sink. I mean, we'll brighten it up and we'll white balance it, but that's a terrible shot. It's just a waste.
It is, but here's the flip side of that. And this is what I also tell agents, is that it costs nothing to develop digital film.
True. Well, unless we're editing it, then.
And the only time I could realistically think you taking a picture of a half bath would be if they had one of those really cool above mount sinks, but I would only do the sink in that case. And I can't, the lid is open. What is wrong with people?
Oh,
the other notes that I always push are things such as clean off the countertops, make the beds, turn on all the lights as much as possible. I mean, that book right there probably has instructions on, that's a great page. If you want to share with us, feel free. But that's what I send out to all of our listing people. Say, listen, you want this to look right. Yeah. If you're not, I love it when I walk and they go, oh, we're ready to do it today. And I'm looking around going, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Actually, anybody that does business with DeVore Design, when you do a booking with DeVore Design, we automatically send a booking confirmation, but we also send a PDF of that prep sheet with your information on it. So you can have your logo on it and your contact information. And our goal with that is that when it has your information on it, maybe you'll be more likely to share it with the seller. Because of course, prep is a huge part. So again, you want to talk about do's and don'ts. A do, if you're doing video or even photos, walk the property before you even turn the camera on. That's what we tell our photographers to do. Walk the property first. Open doors, turn on lights, turn off fans, adjust windows to. Sometimes a room is too bright. Sometimes you'll have too much light coming through windows. So adjust things, balance things out. Do that walkthrough first. What I tell our photographers, do the walkthrough with the agent and the seller and have them try and move things around, especially right now. We don't want to be touching people's stuff, but have the sellers, have the agents move things around. And when I say move things around, I'm not talking about moving chairs. Just let everybody know what kind of needs to happen. Set the expectations. Personal items in bathrooms are the big one. Toothbrushes and stuff. Well, we don't want to touch that, and sellers don't want us to touch that.
But set tables. I mean, set tables and set breakfast
It
parties
helps.
or dishes. It makes a difference. It anchors the space.
100%. So, one of those do's or don'ts, depending how you want to look at it, you want to walk through the space. You don't want to photograph a property before you've done that walkthrough and before you've really got it prepared for photos and video. And again, open all the doors. If there's some reason that you have to close doors, then you can close the doors. If you're going to do a video walkthrough and there's a room you want to avoid, well, maybe close the door just to the room you want to avoid. So you kind of have that mental note not to go in there by accident. But yeah, I think that, and you're right. It doesn't cost you anything to take those extra photos, but there's also no value in it. If you're going to take your own photos, my advice, try to keep your camera straight. Like that's something that we do in professional photography. We keep all the lines on the walls. They're vertical. They're not converging. They don't do that. And when a lot of people are taking photos on their phones, they're tilting the camera down. A lot of times they'll shoot like that. They'll shoot vertical.
Bonkers.
The problem with the vertical shots is I just don't think the MLS and Zillow handles them very well.
No.
Right.
And I'm not saying that there's times when I encourage our photographers to take vertical shots. When you have a foyer that goes all the way up to the second floor and there's a beautiful chandelier, sometimes, or columns, sometimes those shots are helpful, but a couple of them like that, not every single shot.
I think a lot of times the reason for the vertical shots is, and this is one of my biggest reasons why I go with professional photographer, and that's because of the wide angle lens.
Yep.
It's huge. You have to have the hardware that you in order to take the professional shots. And, in indoor photography really needs a wide angle lens.
And if you have an older phone that doesn't have the built-in wide angles like some of the new phones do, you can get a wide angle lens that'll basically like clip onto your phone, and they're not created equal. The price point you want to kind of focus in on is usually about $50. When you fall under that, they're garbage. And then you're doing yourself a disservice because you're going to get, it's just going to be blurry around the edges and it'll be distorted. So you can, I am not, as weird as it sounds, to own a professional real estate photography company. I encourage agents, when they can do things themselves, to do things themselves.
Right. But the goal is to have enough and too much business that, we do the professional real estate, you do the professional pictures, let everyone do their own professional job.
It takes time. It takes time to get up to that. And we've always, thank you for saying that, because I think a lot of people in not just in our office, but anybody, they all think that it costs, that they can't do it on their own and that they're not going to be successful. They can't afford it. So why should I even bother? And they get really discouraged. And we're lucky enough that the company actually has a lot of tools that they can use for free. And we encourage free, but don't be afraid to spend money when it's necessary. Obviously, if you're looking at a multi-million-dollar home, you better be picking up the phone and calling big, because you are not going to get the same quality, and that's a higher expectation. At the same time, I'm not going to pick up we have a Matterport camera, but I'm not going to do that in a 900 square foot condo for $35,000. It just doesn't. The use of time and all that. You have to pick
before you get the pictures finished.
I mean, sometimes it's just the iPhone. Sometimes it's the what is it? The DSLR. Yeah, that camera with the thingy and the stuff. It's one of those. And then and it's like I don't do a drone shot on everything either. Sometimes it's overkill.
One of these.
Exactly. Just showing off all his toys there. But it's cool. And I tell you, looking at this, it gives me an idea that I think we need to have our office needs to have a little video done to reopen our office with our new company owners. So maybe we'll talk about that later. I won't put her on the spot right now, but maybe because we've been wanting to do something like that for a while, because we're really proud of this office, and we're we've always been proud of it, but now we're especially excited because we finally get to have the reins all to ourselves. We had our first moment the other day, and I don't know if Kathy's listening or not. Kathy was one of our the prior owners. She's actually still one of our broker associates now, but I asked something and I'm like, I don't have to ask permission for anybody. Dana,
we made a decision.
I'm technically the boss, which is really weird because I don't think of myself that way, and Dana does, but I don't. And because she's a sales manager, and the agents know who's the real boss here. But it's all good. We're the mom.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I realized on Facebook the other day that this happened April 1st, and I hadn't told anybody about it. In fact, I don't think Dana's told anybody about it on her Facebook page either. As one
we've been pivoting and trying to get it all done. And
she's been my rock for all of this. A lot of stuff. I don't know if you have to do anything with the DBPR, the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, but my goodness gracious, they are a nightmare. I have 3 different licenses that we've had to get, that only one of them is really workable. So who knows? Well, anyway, Vic, we truly appreciate you coming on today. Obviously we enjoy talking to you because we went over by like almost
20 minutes. Yeah.
I have a tendency to go on, and for some reason these tend to go on for a while when I'm involved.
You mentioned TikTok, so I'm interested. What TikTok videos have you been doing?
Purely personal, and when I say, I mean not in a bad way, but just like
your screen name out there,
Vic DeVore. I'm not even hiding myself. It's just goofy, silly stuff out, in the pool, on the boat, at home. Just fun, ridiculous stuff. That's all I've been getting out of TikTok. It's fun though. It is fun.
It is. I
wanted to ask you guys too. Are you guys doing any kind of open house at the office, or any kind of happy hours or anything like that? Because if you are, I'd love to be involved.
Sure.
We've been. Go ahead, Dana.
We do our open house Thursdays. So tomorrow, this time, we're doing our open house Thursday, which is how we connected with you in the first place, because your videos have been on several weeks of our open house Thursdays. So we're doing that. And then we had been, while we didn't have the office available, we were doing our wind down Wednesdays every Wednesday. I think we're going to go back to once a month, but having a fun time doing our wind down Wednesdays. And we usually kind of combine it with a trivia, either doing Quiplash, or one of our very close friends, Michael Wanzi, comes on and does a trivia challenge with us, which is super fun. But yeah, we'll invite you we're always up for everyone doing our crazy stuff with us.
Cool. We're all about building relationships and all of that. So you'll definitely be somebody I'm sure we'll be seeing after today.
I hope so.
And eventually, when we are having our meetings back in the office, I'd love to have you come by in person and just really show off what you do and all of that, because it's just so important to be able to have access. A lot of people think they can't afford good marketing, or that they can't, or they don't know where to start with good marketing. And you've got it down. So thank you so very much. We really appreciate it, and we will be in touch with you very soon.
Thank you both, David, Dana. I really appreciate the time and the exposure. Thank you very much.
Care, bud.
Thank you so much, Vic.
Bye. So
Very
cool.
good. So, David, I was kind
I really could.
What are you doing? We're talking over each other. I kind of shamelessly asked about the TikTok because Merle and I do have our own first TikTok video.
I don't know. I'm on TikTok right now. I was going to pull something up from him, but I can't seem to find a way to do a search for somebody on TikTok.
Well, okay, David, I think that what we should do for our exit today is I am going to share Merle and I's TikTok. Wait, hold on.
Oh, I'm scared.
Nick's
in the waiting room. He's probably scared too.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's already doing
it. Screen, babe.
Do I have to
share screen?
Okay, hold on.
It's like your grandparents trying to learn something on.
I know, it's funny.
Not because Vic was on, but because Dana doesn't know what she's doing.
Okay, I'm trying to get. It doesn't give me. Oh, you know what, David? I'm just gonna have to send it to. Do you want me to send it to you right now?
I don't want you to. No, we'll do it tomorrow.
That's going to be our enticement to get the people to come tomorrow to our open house Thursday. David is going to open our open house with Merle and I's premiere of our TikTok video.
Oh, I can hardly wait. Unfortunately, I don't have access to our closing video with the new music on it because I don't know where it is. I lost it. I think I may have deleted it. Oh no, I have to mess this all up. Oh wait, here it is. Anyway, no wait, that's not it. Oh, here it is. So we're gonna say goodbye. Start dancing, pretending like you're dancing out because we're not gonna have the music, and we'll do this.